You're about to enter the world of strawberry ice and the ice cave. Let's go!
You know, the league rule was you're not really supposed
Probably
to
take him out of that conversation.
He started from absolute scratch.
I would draft Aziz Ojolari or any.
Nobody's doing 7-step drops in
playing tackle for him. So
Right.
it's
He's almost 22 years old. Devonta Smith, same thing.
You just can't. You can't do that. You can't do
I
that.
thought that 2010
that he should be in the Hall of Fame, and they put him in after he was gone. So that's why
to fill the stadium.
I remember you guys saying that.
It's crazy.
I see that he's taken the non.
But overall, that line wasn't better.
No,
They still.
He's talking to the refs and saying, "Hey, I'm not going to get those calls."
He's coming. He's coming, and he's being section 158 with me. So
These guys have learned basically since they've been in the major leagues.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And if my face looks even redder than normal, that's because I was out on the bridge in the hot-ass sun watching the Bengals practice. So my face might be a little redder than it normally is. Now, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 1,102 subscribers. That is great. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And as always, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, do me a favor. Go to the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, hit the word subscribe, make it change colors, hit the bell for the notification. So every time I go live, you guys will be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chats, if you guys want to support what I'm doing, we have the super chats going on there. So make sure you give me a super chat comment and I will pop it up as fast as I can. So, like I said, I was at the bridge today. It was hot. It was a run through. It wasn't a padded practice. It was kind of vanilla, but it was still pretty cool. So I gotta go bring in one of my favorite guys. And if you guys don't check out his podcast, you should. It's Ace from Orange is the New Black podcast. Ace, what's going on, brother?
What up, Iceman?
Man, it's hot.
The Iceman is hot.
Iceman is hot, dude. I'm sitting in the air conditioning still, but man, I'm still hot. I'm like, those guys are walking off the field. They're all sweating and everything, and I'm sweating. I'm like, I didn't even play, and I'm sweating. The older I get, the worse I do as far as the heat goes. But it was still fun going out there. And look at you. You're in Florida. You're wearing a jacket.
Yeah, I'm jealous of you, though, man. I want to be able to attend some of those practices and sit on the bridge with you, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I like it up there. And the funny thing is, the Bengals are starting to get to know. I don't know if they know me, but they know the crazy guy that's on the bridge. Because I'll be like, hey, how you guys doing? Yeah, I'm the crazy guy on the bridge. I'm like, dude, you're nuts. I'm like, I know. But it was pretty cool. So let's get into what the news of the day, which, I mean, there's nothing really big breaking news as far as, the Bengals go today, but the narrative at camp right now, is Jackson Carman is going with the third string. He's not going to start Saturday night the game might be pushed back or pushed up. We got a tropical storm, so it might be earlier than normal, but looks like Michael Jordan is going to start at guard. And I keep asking everybody here that comes on the show this week, what's your thoughts on that? Because Michael Jordan, it's not completely his fault what happened to Joe Burrow, but it's kind of his fault what happened to Joe Burrow. What's your thoughts on him potentially being the starting guard for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Well, I think my reaction was the same as everyone's. I was honestly shocked. I feel for Michael Jordan. I feel like he was in a bad spot last season. And initially when this happened, I was talking to Zim and I thought, maybe they're just doing this to give this guy some sort of confidence that he's just not going to get cut this season, right? So that was what my initial thought is, okay, hey, this is just us having a gesture here to say, your job is safe. You can compete. We're not going to hold the injury against you. And then the more that we start to hear out of camp from James Rapine and reporters that are on the field, it's seeming like this is a real possible thing. And honestly, it does worry me because when I heard Zach Taylor talk about Dante Smith and his ability to pick things up and how he's played, it sounded like he had some confidence in there. When he talked about Michael Jordan, he said that he has all the ability in the world, but he just has to put it together, which to me sounds like he's not playing or performing as consistently as a Dante Smith was. So that was kind of concerning to me when you say that, Mike Jordan is going to be your starter at the right guard position. And when I saw Xavier Su'a-Filo backing him up, I was kind of worried about that as well. Now, I haven't been the biggest guy on the Xavier Su'a-Filo hype train. Like, I think that he's a solid guy, but I honestly think that he's kind of been a career backup in the NFL. He's gotten cut from other teams. He actually was cut for Quentin Spain at one of those stops. So I've always been skeptical of him as well. But when it comes to Michael Jordan, that just it kind of scares me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It is worrisome. The only thing that I could say is I know that he has been working with Willie Anderson. I know that they have been working with technique. And I did hear some things behind the scenes from what kind of happened with that situation, which is why I don't drill into him as much, because a lot of that also was tied to Jim Turner, right? He wasn't teaching them the right stuff. And Michael Jordan was just a guy listening to him. And unfortunately, he was not teaching the best technique. And the only reason Michael Jordan was in that game, from what I told, is just because he was one of the only guys that actually listened to Jim Turner. And so I'm hoping that he's taken some strides, but I'm still worried about it. And it just makes me worry and wonder, obviously you don't want to not give the guy a chance, but what does Joe Burrow think of this? Like, obviously they played in college and stuff together, but mentally, to have the same guy on the line there blocking for him again, I'm not so sure what the mindset is, but hey, it's the right guard now, not the left guard. Hopefully he's cleaned up the technique. It seems like, from what I've heard from people reporting live there, that he's actually played somewhat better than Xavier Su'a-Filo, which is scary. And it seems like he's, way ahead of Jackson Carman. But obviously, like you said, this preseason game is really going to answer a lot of that, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
One thing that worries me is our trenches were horrible last year, right? And I think that they improved a lot. Don't get me wrong. But I'm worried that I just think about the one year where Carl Lawson was blown by Cedric Ogbuehi, and it was just like, oh my goodness, our pass rush is going to be amazing.
Right.
And then it was really that our offensive line was just not good.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm worried about that for both sides, but we'll just have to see. All I can say is, at this point, since they haven't gone out and signed to Austin Ryder, I'm just going to say, and Frank Pollock, I trust. Hopefully Frank will be able to right this ship. The weirdest part about it to me, though, is Billy Price isn't even getting a look at backup at right guard at all.
From what I've seen of Billy Price, he's getting blown up, dude. I mean, I've seen him getting knocked on his butt multiple times. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Now, this is what I brought up with Anthony Cosenza on yesterday's show.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think about this? It might be put up or shut up time for Michael Jordan. The Bengals really just need to find out where he is. And this might be more of trying to find out where Michael Jordan is instead. Well, I said instead of what's against Carmen Jackson, but Carmen Jackson is still on a third string. But I do think this might be more of trying to find out, where are they at with Michael Jordan? Has he improved? All the stuff he did in the offseason, the working with Willie Anderson, the losing of the weight, Frank Pollock, is he coaching him up more? I mean, this might be more of that. It's kind of what I kind of thought of about yesterday. Just trying to figure out where he is. And it's also maybe to put a fire under Jackson Carman's butt, saying, hey, you're third string, dude. You gotta step up. And I really think it's ironic, or interesting, I should say, how they're talking up Deontay Smith. Because I thought he was going to be I still think he could be our future tackle for us. Right. But they really like him at guard. And I mean, I'm the way they're talking, I'm like, is he going to start?
Put him? That's what I was. That is the impression that I got.
Right.
When Zach Taylor had that press conference and talked about Dante Smith, that made me feel like, okay, well, maybe they'll put Dante Smith at left guard and they'll put Quentin Spain at right guard and problem solved. Right. But I don't know. We'll have to see what the games actually show. And I think that this is a good test to see where the line is. Don't put Joe in there the first game. Let's see what this line looks like. They're going to be going up against some really good guys. And Vita Vea, I don't know if Sue is going to play or not, but there's no better test than this defensive line that we're going to face with the Bucs to see where this team is, and to have Brandon Allen in there and not have Joe Burrow in there. So we'll just have to see how it plays out.
I mean, the thing is, Brandon Allen has looked, again, it's practice, but he's looked really good. I mean,
Right.
when the offense was struggling with a jackpot Joey Burrow in there or whatever, Brandon Allen's looking really well. Not that
Right.
Brandon Allen's going to start over Joe Burrows, but
Right.
there's a good chance that this offense could run as good as it's going to, as possibly could run for a first preseason because Brandon Allen is the quarterback. But I do like it. I'm very happy that the Buccaneers are going to play their starters. We need to find out. Like I said, we need to find out about this offensive line. We need to find out about this defensive line. And you can see here, my buddy Matty Myers throwing out the jackpot Joey Burrow hats to all the Bengals. So, like he said in the comments here, we got, here it is. Wrong one. You guys are blowing it up. Like that one. We got 20 Bengals now have jackpot Joey Burrow hats. So that's cool. But so I do want to get to this question. Hold on. You guys are blowing it up. I love it. I'm going to try to get this. Chris says, this is a make or break for Jordan. Like, what is, I can't even see my screen here.
I like that they're doing it now and not the regular season. No problem.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm like too many things going on at one time. Here, how about we just do that? Make it a lot easier for me to read it. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I think it is a make or break for Jordan. We got to find out where we're at, because not last year, but 2019, he actually made progress. You know, he did get better. He improved. Last year, he didn't. So can he get back to the point where he was in 2019 and improve upon that? Or is he back to 2020? That's where I think we got to find out.
I think there's only one way to go is up, man. I mean, after the season I think that he had last season, and my recollection of Michael Jordan when we drafted him, I like the pick, don't get me wrong, when we took him so many years ago. But when I read his prospect profile, they always described him as a very raw guy that needed to get developed, right? So this is year 3, like you're saying. So that development should have paid off. Now, it's probably to his detriment that 1 year that was under Jim Turner, or 2 years of that was under Jim Turner, but hopefully they can develop him and get him to that potential that people see, because the physical tools are there, right? The size, the athleticism, but he's just got to put it all together.
Exactly. And it's time. I mean, this is what, his 4th year? I think it's his 4th year.
I believe it might be his 4th year. You guys can let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll take care of me. They always do. But yeah, it's time to find out where they're at with him. And it's going to be a very good test to find out. Now, Josh we're kind of talking about this a little bit earlier, but the game might be moved up because of the tropical, it's not really a storm, it's a depression, I guess is what they're calling it, which is not as bad as a storm. But I think there's a good chance that the game is going to get moved up. And I know you got tickets. Have you heard anything?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything as of yet. The only thing I've heard is that it could potentially get moved up. So I'm waiting on pins and needles to try to figure out when they're going to do that, because I'm in Orlando. So I got to prep to go down. I'm actually going down with a friend of mine, one of my good friends from college that happens to be a Bucs fan, and he knows that I'm a diehard Bengals fan. The dope part about that, though, is this kid grew up with Geno Atkins. So he doesn't even call Geno Atkins Geno. He calls him Gene. I never knew that his real name was Gene.
Really?
They just call him Geno. Yeah. So he's actually childhood friends with Geno Atkins. They used to go to, I think, St. Thomas Aquinas, that school that Gio and a lot of former Bengals went to. So it'll be a good time. And I'm glad that they're moving it up, because I don't want to get rained on.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, that we want to get the game in, dude. I'm dying for football.
Oh, man, we need it.
Now, tomorrow night, you're going to a game with your friend who's a Buccaneers fan. Tomorrow's show, Mrs. Ice wants to come on and talk smack to me about how the Buccaneers are going to destroy the Bengals tomorrow night. Now, I hate to say it, there might be a good chance of that because they're playing all the freaking starters, and I don't know how many we're going to play. But I'm still going to hold my own and tell her she's wrong. So hopefully the Bengals will back me up and we'll have a good game. This is the one I meant to get on earlier, Hunter, and I think he's talking about Michael Jordan. He said, I don't know how you rebound from a 23 PFF grade and the 4th most pressures with not playing 5 games. I think he's talking about Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Which that is like I said, I can't answer that. That's up to Frank Pollock, and I think he's doing what's best for the Bengals. Right. It just does scare me and just irritates me, honestly, is because you know me, I was team Chase all the way, and I kept saying we can get, and I kept saying we don't need a tackle, we needed a guard. I said we can get one in the second round, and they traded back, and I like they traded back and got Jackson Carman, and you know him being third string, that's not what I was expecting, you know. So it is kind of.
I mean, it's tough. You were thinking about the Migos right here. So there's Jeff. I will say this. Obviously, at one point I was on Team Panay. We're all part of Team Chase now, right? But the one thing I'll say is this, and I kind of tweeted it out earlier. There's a lot of linemen that were taken either before or after Jackson Carman that are struggling as well. I mean, I just posted it earlier. There's a lot of guys. Christian Darrisaw's fighting an injury. Panay Sewell is struggling at right tackle. So who's to say that he would have been able to come in here and be a tackle or guard or whatever we needed from him? Sam Cosme, like a lot of the people that people named are struggling right now. Ironically, the Slater gang is probably celebrating right now because Rashawn Slater apparently is looking okay.
To me, the difference is Slater played last year. I mean, Chase has been struggling a little bit here in training camp, and Sewell's struggling. Those guys didn't play last year, so you take a whole year off football.
Dylan Redun's another one that people talked about. He's struggled to the point where they took him from the tackle position and made him a backup right guard. So there's a lot of guys right now struggling. I think even Landon Dickerson was another one that I heard people throw around. They're keeping him slow because he's still coming off of that ACL injury. So, you know, Jackson Carman is definitely disappointed to this point. Let's just hope that it seems like he has to get in shape. That sounds like one thing.
I've heard that a lot,
and here's the thing, right? You can be the best practice player and all of that, but at the end of the day, if Jackson Carman gets in there and he shows that he can actually play in this league against, you know, maybe a Sioux or something like that. Now, the one thing that was interesting was the other day, they said that he's going to play a lot. They did say that. They did say that Jackson Carman is going to play a lot. So
he needs to get some reps in, man. Well, that's the part that's I'm down there at camp, and he's not getting a lot of reps. That's where I'm kind of like, well, how in the hell is he supposed to get any better if he's not getting any reps? Now, when I saw him today, they did a run now gets his third string, but they did a running play, and he did a great job of walling him up and turning his the defense guy to the inside, and the running back ran right through the gap. So that was good. But again, it's the third string. Hopefully it'll translate to doing it in the first string. And it's like Duke Tobin said yesterday, I think it was on the Bengals Booth podcast or the day before that, I don't remember. He said he thinks offensive line is the hardest position to come into the NFL and learn. And Jackson Carman is playing a new position. He hasn't never played guard in college. I think maybe one game. I think they said he played guard, but for most of his college career, he's been a tackle. So, including myself, gotta relax. I mean, it's still the beginning of it. We'll see what happens. But talk about your shirt in the background. I love it. I want everybody to know where they can get that. The Migos.
It's the Migos shirt. I forgive the people that have been following me from New Stripe City. I just realized that I didn't have the link in the description. So they're available at newstripecity.com. They're pretty dope. This is actually the first one that I made. So the one that's available now, it actually doesn't say the culture or anything under that, but you still get the three Migos there. Jamar Chase got one, ended up shouting me out, so appreciate that. Appreciate everybody that shared it on social media. They're available in white, black, and orange, and you can get them at newstripecity.com.
You got an extra fat size. That's kind of the size I need.
Oh, we got you, bro. I get you one sent over.
Thanks for the hookup.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see here. You got about 10 more minutes. Let's see here. Where do we want to go on here? Well,
we got to talk about it, right? The elephant in the room. We got to talk about it, man. This happened today.
Bring it up. Go for it.
How do you feel? Let me ask you, how do you feel about the Jesse Bates situation?
I'm disappointed. I'll tell you that. I'm surprised. I thought he would be signed already, to be honest. I mean, I really did. Especially after they got Hubbard done. So that was so, and I still don't know if it's completely over yet. I mean, they said they haven't completely, they're just not close. But but they don't sign by the time, if he doesn't sign by the time the season starts, it might not, it's going to roll into next season, and then it's going to cost the Bengals even more money.
Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of worried about it. Like when it came out that they weren't close and that it wasn't going to get done now, I was somewhat worried about that because we felt, like you said, after Hubbard was done, it felt like it was a foregone conclusion, right? That's why we've
Mm-hmm.
been holding on to this money, is to pay Jesse Bates and extend him. And he's coming off one of the best seasons he's ever had. I mean, he's second team All-Pro. It's a no-brainer. The Bengals haven't had an All-Pro that they've hit on in the draft in quite some time, right? So to me, it just kind of hurt to see him. And then the weird part was they interviewed him the next day. Like, I don't know how that was, but it just hurt because you could kind of hear the pain in his voice, because we've been seeing the Bengals, marketing team on social media and everybody pushing this narrative, number one best safety in the league. He's even saying it,
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to the thing, like the thing that he said that stuck out to me was, they don't feel like I'm one of the top safeties.
Yeah.
It's one thing to say, I want to be the number one paid safety, but you're not considering him top 5, like from the.
Well, that's the thing, dude. It's like people are saying they have the franchise tag in their back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they're going to franchise tag him, then you're paying him like the top 5 safety in the league. So
just pay him,
right? So that's where I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. And Cripps got a question here. So do you believe Jesse Bates' agent is pouting to the news? And you think he's the one? Because I heard somebody say that it might be, I think it was Jay Morrison, that it might be the agent going out and saying this stuff.
I mean, it a lot of the time, most of that stuff does come from the agent, right? So I think when that stuff got leaked, 2 days ago, where they weren't close, I think it was the agent. The one thing though for me is Jesse Bates came out and said he was eager to get a deal done. So to me, I think from that standpoint, it kind of reminds me of I forget who it was, but I think it may have been George Iloka when he was like, man, let's just get the deal done. Like, I just want to be in Cincinnati. And that was kind of the energy that I got from Jesse. So obviously we're not privy to the specifics.
But I've said this before, it's not like Jesse Bates is sitting across from the table talking to Mike Brown or Katie or anything. It's the agent. So Jesse only hears what his agent is telling him and stuff. So it just gets brought up for when it gets close to making a deal or whatever.
And I mean, it's tough because you got other safeties out there that don't have their deals yet, right? Jamal Adams, some other guys. So you kind of have to lay that.
It's not uncommon to what's going on, but I was getting an argument with guys that work today. They're like, well, same old Mike Brown, he's cheap. I'm like, I'm not saying that he's not. I don't think he's cheap. I don't know what's going on, because when it comes to his own players, he's not cheap. He usually pays his own players.
Right. So like you said, we don't know everything of what's going on. The one thing that I'll say though is, I just hope it doesn't leave a sour taste in his mouth, because, sometimes players look at that as, they might feel slighted or something like that. And even if you franchise him, he still might be disgruntled. So that's the only thing. I think that he did kind of take the high road, and he's like, this isn't about me. This is about the Bengals. This is about me, proving my worth to the team if it comes to that. So it sucks that obviously we wanted him to get the deal, but hopefully this thing will still work itself out. That's the part that I'm just worried about, is hopefully they didn't strike a nerve with him is what I'm hoping.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it's just it's not like the guaranteed money. It's little things that they're still working on. That far apart is just bonuses and stuff like that. I'm hoping it's that. I'm hoping it's nothing big, and I'm hoping that the agent is just like, what, screw it, I'm going to put it out there because I want to get this done. This deal should have been done already, and he leaked it to the.
Which that's completely plausible, because he does have one of the higher tier agents, so I'm pretty sure that came from it. And hopefully this isn't one of those deals where the agent gets in between the player and the team, because it's obvious to me that Jesse Bates wants to be here. It's
absolutely
obvious that the Bengals value him. I mean, you look at all the offseason marketing and stuff like that. I mean, him and Hubbard were pretty much presented as the leaders of this team. So we'll have to see.
They were on all the new stripe stuff. So I mean, that's
Exactly.
That's another thing. So that's why I don't know why you're having this new campaign, new stripes and all that stuff. And one of the guys you primarily focused on was Jesse Bates. Pretty sure they're going to sign him, I would think.
Right.
So what is your thoughts? Now we know that Joe Burrow is not starting Saturday. Zach Taylor has come out and said he's not starting Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Taylor has not come out and said that he's not starting any preseason game. He's kind of left that open.
Right.
What's your dude? I keep going back and forth. Because if the offensive line sucks in preseason, they're going to suck in the regular season. So is there a big difference? I mean, I kind of was leaning more toward let him play a series or two to get the rust off. You know,
Right.
I really don't think they're going to blast him in preseason. At least I hope to God not. But I don't know. What's your thoughts on Joe playing, or where do you think the Bengals are at?
I mean, honestly, I've always felt like he should at least get a series. I think one series, hopefully wouldn't expose him to too much. There's things that you can do with that, right? When it comes to it, you could run the ball. There's all kind of things that you could try to protect them in shotgun instead of having them right under the center. But I think at the end of the day, he needs to get at least one series. I mean, he's not going to be fully comfortable if you give him no preseason and just throw him out there week one. And I think that would be dangerous because, at this point it's mental, right?
Yes.
The knee is strong.
He said that. Yeah.
The knee is strong. It's mental. So he's just got to get over that mental hurdle. And the only way that he's going to be able to do that is you throwing him into a game for a series. Like, we're not saying for him to play the entire first half. We're not saying for him to do any of that. I'm just saying one series, not even two. Just give me one. Just give me one series. If it's a 3 and out, it's a 3 and out.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
He can come back to the bench. But I understand how some people are like, no, don't put him in there at all. But I think at this point, just mentally, he's got to be able to have that. So that way, in the first quarter of the Vikings game, he's not constantly worried about that and doesn't get settled into the second quarter.
Yeah, I am leaning more toward letting him play at least a series. And that is more of what Joe Burrow has said. He came out and said, it's a mental thing, a hurdle. He even admitted it. It's a mental hurdle he has to get over. And what they've been doing is by his request, is they're putting coaches right by him and by his feet and kind of diving in and stuff like that, just for him to make him more uncomfortable to get used to it. Because it's like I said, it's a mental hurdle he's got to go through. And the other thing is, people say, well, he didn't have preseason or anything last year and he was fine. Yeah, but he wasn't coming off a major knee surgery, and he played an entire college football season. It's different. He hadn't played since November. And we're talking about Jamar Chase knocking off the rust, and he hadn't played in the year. Burrow's got to knock the rust off too, no matter what is your coach. If you haven't played football in a long period of time, the best way to get back to learn how to play it is to play football. You got to get out there and you got to play. And so I'm leaning more toward, I want to at least be out there for a series. It's not going to happen against the Buccaneers, but maybe we'll see it in one of the other two preseasons. But I know it's almost 6:00 and you got to rolling out of here. You and Ace are going to tape your show. Well, what do you guys got coming on your show? Is that going to be airing tonight, or are you guys taping and putting it out?
Yeah, we're actually about to do that here. We're going to go live in probably about 15, 20 minutes from now. We're just going to be answering a lot of questions around some of the topics that we kind of talked about. Jesse Bates and the contract situation, Joe Burrow and the overhyped struggles of him and Chase, which aren't even here anymore, aren't even a thing.
It's not even. It's not yet. We didn't even get to that. It's not even a thing. I'm like, I'll put it to you this way, man. This is. I'm cutting you off. Sorry, but
no, you're good.
This fan base is so locked in to the Bengals. Whatever happens, they're like, oh my goodness, oh that's bad, oh that's good. Oh, I've never seen this fan base so locked in my entire life of being a Bengals fan. I think it's cool, but it's also kind of like, relax.
All
right,
we'll be fine.
We'll be fine. So, what time are you guys coming on tonight?
I think it'll be around 6:15, 6:30. So should be pretty soon. So if you don't, after you guys don't leave here, stay here, finish Sports with Strawberry Ice, because it will be up and you guys can watch it at your convenience or leisure. And then we'll have the audio podcast probably up either tonight or tomorrow morning. So I think we're actually going to do 2 shows. So I think we're doing tonight and possibly tomorrow. We have to see.
There you go. Well, Ace, as always, I appreciate when you come on. You and your boy Zim are been great to me coming on my show, and John Sharon and Anthony and all you guys from the Cincy Jungle. So I appreciate you guys coming on, and take it easy, brother.
All right, brother. Who day?
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Yes, Ryan, the fan base is going crazy. Yes, it is. And it's cool. I like it that the fan base is going crazy to a certain extent. Sometimes it's kind of like, relax. It's okay. We'll be all right. Now, I'm going to go back in the chat because somebody said Jesse Winker hit a grand slam. Yeah, say, Brad, Jesse Winker hit a grand slam. That's awesome. I love it. Now, let's get into some Reds conversation. We can do this while you guys are watching the game. I had some thoughts. The last 3 games that we have had, we should have won at least 2 out of the 3. I've said that I don't know how many times this year. The problem, and I'm not going to completely blame the bullpen, Luis Castillo, Sonny Gray, and Wade Miley, all 3 of them had bad starts. All 3 of them did. The Reds came back at 2 of them, bullpen blew 2 of them. And yesterday I got on David Bell for not using the guys who are reliable. Well, he used Lucas Sims last night, and Lucas Sims gave up a 3-run homer in the 11th inning. It's mind-numbingly frustrating. This team has probably lost 20 games, I think, this year, directly because of the bullpen. I mean, they picked themselves up off the mat again. Joseph Daniel Votto, the legend, hit a 2-run homer to tie it up in the 9th inning. We get it to the 11th, and we give up a 3-run homer to lose. Now, it's been nice if the offense would have scored 1 run. You know, we had a guy on second base. Couldn't do it, but this season has been a lot of fun, and I completely agree with what you're saying here. Aquila the Great. Aquila the Great? We'll just go with the Great. Reds are such an emotional roller coaster. I'm just gotten emotionally detached myself from this at this point. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like I said this yesterday. I'm apathetic about this. In my heart of hearts, I want them to make the playoffs. I just don't see it. I mean, I was talking to one of the guys at work today. When they were, I think they're 6 or 7 games out of first place right now. I can't remember which one. Last time when they got within 4, they went on like a 10-game winning streak. That's what has to happen for them to come close to getting within 4. Now, that's why the wild card is a better shot as far as mathematically for the Reds to win. But like I keep saying, the Padres and the Dodgers and the Giants are just better teams than us at this point. I don't think we're going to catch them. I hope we do. Let's see here. Let's get Crown. What's up? Iceman, are you going to watch the Field of Dreams game tonight? Maybe. Depends on. I'm not a huge Yankees fan. I love the movie Field of Dreams. I'm not a big Yankees fan. If the Reds are getting their butts kicked, and if the game's still going on because the game's started. I don't know why they started at 5 so early. But yeah, I might watch some of it. I don't know. I'm not that. I like the Reds. If it ain't the Reds, I like the Reds. And then if the Reds are in the playoff or the race, then I'll watch what other team they're chasing or behind them or stuff like that. I might watch some of it. We'll see. Josh, Joey tied Pete Rose for the all-time Reds RBIs. That is awesome. Joseph Daniel Votto is having a phenomenal year. I mean, right now, since Nick Castellanos got hurt, Joey Votto has picked up the pace and is carrying this team. And like I said, last night is just a typical game for the Reds this year. They get behind, they fight back, they tie it up, and then the bullpen blows it. It's happened time and time and time again. Very, very frustrating. All right, I think we have a new comment here. Steady, drop him. What's up? Welcome to the show. So I'm a Bengals fan, and a Seattle Mariners fan, and a Dodge Mavericks fan, and an Orange Duck fan. Well, it's rough times. 1 title between 4 teams. Hey, man, at least you had 1 title. I mean, here lately, my kids have never seen the Reds or the Bengals win a playoff game. I've seen the Reds win the World Series, and I've seen the Bengals go to 2 Super Bowls. But my kids haven't seen them do anything. So, yes, tough times indeed. All right, the Reds. Reds are such an abusive relationship to love. In fact, Cincinnati sports in general, you see Bearcats, Reds, Bengals, etc. Yeah. Well, and that's where I just get to, like I said, somebody asked me today, like, well, why are you so, what did the Bengals do? What did Mike Brown do? I'm like, okay. The Bengals' problem is the offensive line. What did they do? They signed Riley Reef. They drafted Jackson Carman. They drafted Deontay Smith. They drafted Hill from Georgia. They addressed the offensive line. No, did they address it as much as we all would have liked? Probably not, but at least they addressed it. What did the Reds do for their worst part of their ball club? They made it worse in the offseason. They traded away Raisel Iglesias. They did not tender a contract to Archie Bradley. They did nothing to add suitable relief pitchers. Now you can say, well, what if Jackson Carmen's on third string? So what's that tell you? That just tells you right now Jackson Carmen's at the third string, and we have to find out what happens. So it's right now. I'm giving the Bengals the benefit of the doubt. If we go into the season and the offensive line struggles, it's not going to be good. I really don't think they're going to, because like I said, we said this before. We don't need the Bengals offensive line to be awesome. They just need to be good, because Joe Burrow is going to get the ball out fast. That's the way this offense is designed, to get the ball out quick. So let's see here. The Great says, every Cincinnati sports team is so close, it sucks. And yep. The second they teased away from it. Now, one thing I want to show you guys, this is an interesting thing I found from Joe Luckup. This is how the Reds bullpen has been this year. Most losses in the MLB when leading in the 8th inning or later. You see who's number 2 there with 10? That's the Reds. Just think if we had those that's 8th inning. 8th inning, you need 6 outs. That's it. That's all you need. If the Reds could have got 6 outs in those 10 games, that'd be 10 more wins. That's a huge difference. Huge. That right there is your season. 10 games. What if we had 10 more wins? You don't think we'd be, within, maybe in first place, within a game or two of first place? That's the whole problem with the season right there. I can't, and I get tired. That's what people are like, you want to talk Reds? I'm like, I'll talk Reds, but it's hard for me to talk Reds right now because of what is happening over and over and over again. And it's annoying. It's very, 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 very annoying. And it's Bob Castellini's fault. But it is what it is. I don't know what the score of the game is. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. I'm sure you guys know, because you're probably watching it or listening while the Reds are winning 4-1. There you go. 4-1, and it is in the 3rd inning. So that is very, very cool. So tomorrow, like I said, Rabbit, you're late. You were on earlier. You said, what's up? Do you leave? You're not supposed to leave, Rabbit. Once I start the show, Rabbit, you got to stay on. Just kidding, dude. Welcome back. So Bengals Saturday night. Now, yeah, we all have to pay attention because it might be earlier than it's scheduled because of the tropical depression that's coming in. A couple things I want to look at. I'm definitely going to be watching. Offensive line obviously. When Jackson Carmen gets in there, how does he look? I'm going to try to watch Michael Jordan a lot, see how he looks. I do think this is I really do think this is more of them trying to see what do they have in Michael Jordan. Did I say Michael Jackson? Michael Jordan. Because they have to find out, because there is a chance that they could release Seraphilia, and because of the money he's owed. I don't know. Oh yeah, Rabbit, I'm telling you, Carmen will pan out. I can feel it in my bones. I hope, and I'm not saying he's not going to, Rabbit. I'm not saying that. I like I said, I watched him against the Thirds today. And again, I'm up on a bridge, but I did see him make a really good push. He didn't lose any ground, and he turned the guy, and the running back ran right through the hole. So that's exactly what you want him to do. And it's a lot going on for him because, like I said, just like Tobin said, he hasn't played guard. He played tackle at Clemson, and the offensive line could be one of the hardest positions to learn how to play. I've never played offensive line. I don't know. I'm going by what Duke Tobin says. But the interesting thing in all of this is Deontay Smith, of how he's stepping up, and he is second behind Spain as guard. So like I said, there's part of me kind of like I like to see how he does, because I really do in my bones when we drafted him, thought he was going to be our future right tackle. Probably, maybe not next year, but the year after that, something like that. But he did not look very good at tackle. He's looked a lot better at guard. So those are things that I'm going to be watching for. I want to watch, excuse me. I want to watch Evan McPherson. You guys are going to really enjoy watching this kid kick. I can't stop talking about it because it's just a nice, easy swing, and he drills it almost every time. And I'm kind of hoping maybe when he is out there kicking it, maybe it is raining, not a downpour, but, give him some elements, give him something hard to do, And I really want to see the defense. I want to see what I'm seeing down there from the bridge, watching Trey Hendrickson, watching Hubbard, watching Osai, watching Sample go through and get to Joe Burrow. Is that going to happen against these Super Bowl champs where they're going to be starting, I think, their entire offensive line, at least in the first quarter? I don't know how long they're going to stay. So this is a big test for the Bengals, to find out where these guys are. What is what we're seeing in camp? Is it going to translate to the regular season? And that's the only reason to watch preseason, because it doesn't really matter if they win or lose or whatever. It's more of getting the work in, getting out, not getting injured, and for the Bengals, finding out about the guard position. Because honestly, there really isn't that much competition in camp. I mean, really, what is the competition other than? I'm serious. Other than guard, I mean, our tackles are set. I think Spain's our other guard. Hopkins is our center. And Billy Price, if he doesn't start stepping up, he might not make it this year. I think Hills look pretty good as far as being the backup center. I see Billy Price get knocked on his butt, and just ran around. So, and Trey Hopkins, he's still recovering from his knee injury. So, just like Zach Taylor said, it's more of trying to get him. And he said these three guys specifically, CJ Uzama, Trey Hopkins, and Joe Burrow, getting them to week 1 is the plan. Not getting them to play the preseason. But I think there is a very good chance that Joe Burrow is going to play at least a series. Not this weekend. Maybe next weekend. Maybe the weekend after that. We'll see. But I think he needs it for the mental part of it. I think that has to happen. It doesn't have to happen, but I think it'll help. Every little bit helps. That's why the coaches are standing around Joe Burrow and kind of not diving, but kind of just lunging at his legs, just so hopefully his eyes don't move, because you want his eyes going downfield. So it's going to be a lot of fun and very interesting to see what happens Saturday night. And I'm like I said, I'm really curious to see if Joe Burrow is going to play in the preseason. Like I said, play one series. I'm kind of leaning more toward playing one series. Carson Palmer played. I know he played in preseason when he came back from his knee injury. I don't remember how often he did, how much he did play, but he did play. So, Adam, you think he definitely needs to play? I think it would help. Just to get, like I said, he's got to get that. And I don't want him to get hit. I know he wants to get hit. I don't want Burrow getting hit. I know that once he gets that first hit out of the way and he gets up and he's fine, I think it's going to be, smooth sailing from there. I really do. But did you guys check out on my Twitter line? And I put the whole interview on Instagram and Facebook of Joe Burrow, Jackpot Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase yesterday. And the part I put on Twitter was where he said, we're not here for moral victories. We're here to win the division. We want to get to the playoffs. The easy way to get to the playoffs is to win the division. Now you can say, what's he supposed to say? Hey, he can say, we're just looking to try to get better and improve every day. We're just trying to come out here and do our job and, yada, yada, yada. It's vanilla stuff. That's not what he said. He said, we're not here for moral victories. We're here to win the division, to try to get to the playoffs. That's where these guys' mindset is. If this offensive line can hold up, we have a very good shot at this. And I'm really liking, I don't even think I got to this point yet. The H-boys have looked really well as far as the defensive line goes. But Drew Sample and Joseph Osai, I think, have made plays. And I have to tell you this. I was talking to Ace about this before the show started. I'm pretty sure Drew Sample beat Jonah Williams today. I'm pretty sure it was him. I said up on the bridge. I couldn't tell. But he came around the right side, and Burrow was running for his life. That's a good sign from Drew Sample. Jonah Williams will be fine. I'm not worried about him getting beat one time. I mean, I don't want him to get beat at all in the regular season. But for Drew Sample as a rookie to beat Jonah Williams, that's a good thing for the Bengals, because if they can get that rotation, if Osai and Sample can be part of that rotation, our defense could be really, really good. Oh, wow, the Reds are winning 8-1 now? Awesome. Maybe that's a big enough lead our bullpen won't blow it. Let's see here. Get a couple of questions and I'll probably get out of here. All right, Raven. I'll be happy to see our quarterback do as well. Allen is pretty good. And that's what I'm telling you. Allen's no joke. Allen is not is good. I mean, I know Jeremy went off on me, a couple months ago when they signed him. I'm like, Brandon Allen's a pretty good backup quarterback. He knows this offense. He knows it as good as Joe Burrow does. I think he might surprise some people. Not that I want the Bengals, we could trade him. No, keep him. We need him as our backup quarterback. Chris, preseason game 3 in Cincinnati will be nice to see him get a series. That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Chris. At least get him in the jungle in front of fans. Because if you're going to play him one series, at least play him so we can watch him. So we'll see. I say Drew Sample. Sorry, Cam Sample. My bad. Cam Sample, not Drew Sample. Too many names. I knew you guys knew who I meant. I meant Cam Sample. But yeah, Cam Sample seemed like he made a really good play against the ones today. And that's just a good sign. The way him and Osai have flashed. And I've heard Paul Dano Jr. and other guys say that or they flashed. You've seen the potential of what they can do. Now, they do it on a consistent basis. We'll find out. But I think we'll get the heck on out of here because Ace and Zim are about to come on. So, and I get done here, go check those guys out. They should be starting here about 6:30. But let me get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you have not joined these Facebook groups and you love the Bengals, Reds, Bearcats, and Buckeyes, join these groups. You got Houday Nation, Bengals Nation, Bengals Houday Nation, Cincinnati Bengals to Jungle, Cincinnati Reds riding third, heading for home, Bearcat Country. I'm telling you, Bearcats are going to be good. And for all my Buckeyes out here, you got Ohio State Bucknuts, and then the Ice Bar is my show page. You guys can join there. Belly up to the bar. We can talk some sports there. You follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Tremple. I'm at 800 and something followers. I'm so close to 1,000 followers. So if you're not following me on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter. I'd love to get up to 1,000 followers on Twitter. That would be awesome. TikTok is at Iceman90. You can check that out. I'll be putting up the video that I took that you guys got to see a little bit earlier on the show. Putting it up on the channel. Also probably putting it up on TikTok. Do something cool with it up there. So make sure you check out the channel later on for the video from the Bengals camp. And like I said, I'll be putting it up on TikTok. I'll be pulling the sound off later on tonight. Putting it up on the podcast. Make sure if you have not listened or don't want to watch the show for an hour, you can listen to it. Please listen to it. I mean, I can't believe how many guys are listening to it right now. My podcast is blowing up. That is awesome. The show, I keep saying the show is blowing up. You guys have been absolutely awesome. The support I get from Cincinnati fans has been great. But the podcast will be up on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. I'm there. Make sure you rate, like, review. Give me a couple comments. Tell me how awesome I am. And YouTubers, like I said, we are 1,320. Or not 22. 20 would be great. 1,302 subscribers. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. If you're watching us on Facebook, Twitter, go to YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. I would appreciate it. And other than that, as my boy Jeremy Dimebag D's Nuts Dean. And yes, I'm going to call you that every single time at the end of the show until you come back on. You have this stupid job or whatever. Sheesh, come do a job that you don't get paid to do. I mean, come on, that makes more sense. What I always say, remember one thing and one thing only, and that is you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati, so act like it. Who Dey? The Reds are winning 8-1 right now. I'm going to go watch it. You guys have a great weekend. Join me tomorrow. Mrs. Ice is coming for me. House divided. Bengals Nation, Who Dey Nation, we have to unite against the tyranny of the Buccaneers fans. Join me tomorrow. And other than that, that's just, I got to put this up here. I started doing that and I don't have the ending yet. It would just be me sitting there like this. Now, I'll try this. Try it this way. I start talking and I got to get computer stuff done too. And other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya! You're about to enter the world of Strawberry Ice and the Ice Cave. Let's go!
You know, the league rule was you're not really supposed to
take him out of that conversation. And that
He started from absolute scratch.
I would draft Azeez Ojulari or any.
Nobody's doing 7-step drops in
playing tackle for him. So
Right.
It's
He's almost 22 years old. Devonta Smith, same thing. You just can't. You can't do that. You can't do
I
that.
thought that 2010
That should be in the Hall of Fame, and they put him in after he is gone. So that's why
to fill the stadium.
I remember you guys saying that.
It's crazy.
Stands.
I see that he's taken the non.
But overall, that line wasn't better.
No,
They still.
He's talking to the refs and saying, "Hey, I'm not going to get those calls."
he's coming. He's coming, and he's being section 158 with me. So
These guys have learned basically since they've been in the major leagues.